Welcome to Dad Bods, Crab Cakes, and Sports, where husky middle-aged men share insight on the latest Baltimore sports news. From the bank to the yard and beyond, we're breaking down the Ravens, Orioles, Terps, and more. Baltimore's best sports podcast starts right now.
Hello, everyone. We are back. Welcome to Dad Bods, Crab Cakes, and Sports. John, Jason, and Mike here once again. Mike is back from the Taylor Swift Travis Kelce wedding. He's going to tell us all about that and how that went. John's dog training. What did I hear, John? You have a golden doodle and a shih poo, a shit store. What is it you got over there? Oh, John's muted, but he is a professional dog trainer now, and he's got something called a shih poo and a golden doodle. Mike, I mean, I don't even know what that is.
I don't know. The shih poo has to be a girl, right? Because if it would be a boy, it would be a he poo. That makes sense to me because most dogs poo. So I guess it just depends on the gender identity of the dog. Not that I really want to go down that road tonight.
Yeah.
Oh God, you just ruined the whole show. Anyway, there's probably a lot of poo, John. There's two dogs. There's definitely a lot of poo.
Yeah, there is. I didn't want the one. The one just barks and is annoying as hell. I want to skin it from the tail to the head, but the other one's good. The golden doodle is very good. She's very golden retriever-esque.
Oh, outstanding. Well, Mike, tell us all about the wedding you got to attend. Your buddy Travis got married to pop superstar Taylor Swift.
There was a wedding?
Oh. You just had tickets to the garden, so you just went.
Yeah, I thought it was a garden party. There was a wedding there? No, I heard. Did Adam Sandler officiate that? Is that what I heard?
He did. Adam Sandler officiated the wedding. One of the funniest people I think on the entire planet. So that had to be very entertaining.
Did he wear the
blue?
I heard he wore the blue suit.
I'm not sure what he wore. I know that he apparently stung as well. I was getting the play-by-play from my wife and my child the entire time, so it was pretty exciting.
Me too.
Yeah, how do you get when you're? It reminds me a lot of like Princess Diana and all this stuff. It's like how when you're the most popular person in the world, so like essentially, where do you have a wedding where you can actually get some privacy? Apparently, Madison Square Garden because there's no windows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not sure there is such a thing as privacy when you're Taylor Swift. I'm pretty sure you gave that up when you started singing those good songs. I'm not sure it's her fault, but I just don't think privacy exists anymore for those people. I can't imagine living in that world personally, but I'm sure it was a very entertaining wedding, and I'm sure there were a number of very celebrity-oriented guests, and I'm sure it was a who's who, and it was exciting, but it was not big news in the Frisky house. So
no, okay. Well, so, I mean, Billy Joel was there, Mike. That's a favorite of the Friskies, right? Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I like Billy Joel.
Yeah,
Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney was there.
Sir Paul McCartney.
Yes, Sir Paul McCartney. Yes.
Oh, outstanding. Oh, who's the other one? Who's the? Oh, my wife's gonna kill me. She went to her concert in Tampa recently. I can't even remember. But
Shakira?
Country? Rock?
No. Much older. Like rock for sure. Like in her 70s now.
Joan Jett?
Nope.
Stevie Nicks?
Stevie Nicks and Taylor are apparently besties.
So did you guys see that Mike Vrabel was there with his wife and not the lady from The Athletic?
Oh boy.
And did you see that he got into the limousine or into the car or whatever, scooted over and didn't help his wife in, and just kind of like left the door halfway cracked, so she had to open it and get in?
Yeah, I mean, let me ask you this, guys. Like, I've taken Ubers with my wife before and stuff like this. Have you guys ever gotten in first? I don't think I've ever gotten in first.
No.
Right. Okay, there. That a boy. Mikey Vrabel.
But Mike Vrabel, like, why is Mike Vrabel at this wedding? Like,
well, there's a lot. Yeah, I mean, look, Baker Mayfield was there. Stafford was there. Like, these guys, it's like a close knit type thing. They do a lot of off-season stuff together.
One of my favorite Ravens of all time, Juszczyk, he and his wife were there.
Oh, nice.
Well, I mean, the venue holds a few people. I think there was space, adequate space.
I think I heard 1,000 people. 1,000 people were invited to the wedding. And it was a grand old time. Slightly more than my wedding. Just slightly.
I can't imagine 1,000 people who would want to come see my wedding. I don't even know 1,000 people, and I definitely don't know 1,000 people who care that much about me. So
Right.
it's pretty impressive.
It's clearly showing that we don't know many people, as no one's tuned in yet on Facebook or anything else. Here. So that's fine. It's just us three morons talking to each other. So we have that going for us.
Yeah, and
We've had a little bit of a leave of absence there, so I think it might be on us on us a little bit here.
Yes, but what's a better way to reintroduce yourself to the world, Mike, than to just spring it on people? We're back. That's what you do.
We're back.
We don't
I
know
love
for
it.
how long or when. But
Surprise.
yeah, that wedding though, man, like they shut all the streets down and they gave $26 million to like food banks and stuff.
Mhm.
And they
Yeah,
spent
Yeah, they're very charitable people. Like they did all kinds of stuff. So don't really like. I'm not a real big like Travis Kelsey fan really because of the like the Chiefs thing. But as a person, seems like a nice dude. Like seems cool. His brother, I would love. I've made very apparent. I would love to hang out with. Needs to be my summer buddy. But yeah, I mean, really cool people. I don't know how anybody could hate on them. It's kind of crazy, but I digress. We could, I mean, unless you guys want to keep talking about this is great. No, but I don't think anyone, all zero people that tuned in, didn't want to tune in to hear about that. So I don't even know where we left off before. I think the last time you guys did something, or John and I, pardon me, came on and we did kind of a spur of the moment type thing. And we were talking about the Orioles. And it was in a bad time. And then things got better and then they got worse again. So this is where we're at right now, Mike. I mean, they've won 3 straight. They win tomorrow. They've won 6 out of their last 9 going into the All-Star break. You know, I think the Reds are a pretty decent team. The Royals are going the other direction. Um, it teams that they have a lot of fight, Mike, but they don't always play good baseball.
No, I don't think you can question that they always battle, but red's not my favorite color. I'd rather. So I know you like the Reds, but I just not my favorite. I like blue. I think though, John, you and I had texted earlier, and Jason was on the thread too. But the starting pitching has been solid recently, and I think we're kind of seeing shades of what we thought we might see early on in the season when Bradish and Rogers and obviously nobody thought Young was going to pitch like this, but you throw him in there, and then Boz has been somewhat steady. He has hit and miss outings, but overall, I think 4 out of 5 nights you think you got a chance to win the game with those guys on the mound. The problem is the shoddy defense that comes into play. Probably 3 out of every 4 games, something stupid happens, and then you've got some of your homegrown talent that we thought was going to be the core of this team that's just not playing up to that standard that we thought was going to be there, especially after watching that group start out so well in those playoff seasons. It has not been the same group. But Pete Alonso, I feel good about his leadership right now. I feel like he's kind of stepped up here recently. And, Jason, you love yourself some Blaze, right? So I think, he's played above and beyond what anybody thought.
I mean, if Blaze didn't have that April that he had, I'm pretty sure he'd be probably their lone all-star at this point. I mean, he's been one of the best hitters in baseball every month except for April. And it's pretty phenomenal because obviously they brought him in here as like pretty much a super utility type guy, and he's an everyday player at this point. And a lot of that is because of injuries, and other reasons would be because guys are just underperforming. Like, John, these guys that, I mean, I know last time we talked, I did not have nice things to say about Colton Cowser, and I'm still starting to think maybe he is not a everyday Major League Baseball player at this point. And he's one of them. And then Toby Mayo is up and down, although he's hit 2 home runs over the last 3 days that have traveled almost a total of 1,000 feet between the 2 of them, which is insane. He's got sparks here and there, but the consistency is what is lacking from all of these guys that came up in the farm system.
Yeah, that really is what it is. And with a lot of these guys, it's kind of with a Mayo, it's kind of like, you know, do you want him focusing on the defense? Do you want him focusing on the hitting? Do you want him because he doesn't seem to be able to do both of them because his defense is shoddy at best, and then his bat seems to be up and down. Where I think if you could get him, 3-4 days a week in the DH role, where he's just concentrating on hitting, he's not worried about the defense, he's not worried about the field, all that kind of stuff. If you have a Westberg in the lineup, you can allow him to go do that. But right now, without having an everyday third baseman, unless you're counting Blaze as the everyday third baseman, you know, against lefties, he pounds he pounds lefties. Like I don't have the stats in front of me, but they're like off the chart. He just can't hit right-handers. So it's Mayo's kind of, you know, he's between the bread and the cheese somewhere, but he's not covering the whole piece of bread. He's
Oh,
only
God.
covering a corner.
Mike, I'll let you handle
Is that a
this.
sandwich reference? I don't know what's happening right now.
Oh, my
John, I
God.
thought I was supposed to do the comedy. Was that
Ugh.
was that effort? Was that real effort?
John, your poo shit's yelling at you there in the background, or whatever his name is over there. You should probably go get him.
Yoshi,
John, what you have some manly name for those dogs, right? They're like really like maybe football player names or baseball player names, right? For those dogs you have now.
yeah, they're Mario Kart characters, Princess Peach and Yoshi.
Uh huh. Okay.
Hmm, that's
Oh,
not
John.
manly.
You let the kids pick the names out.
You're letting the inmates run the asylum over there, John. This is what happens. You have a Princess Peach and a Yoshi. Okay. You see, we don't have anything like that over here. You know. Ugh, all right.
Walker and Texas Ranger.
Walker. Dr. Quinn and Medicine Woman. If I wanted me some wusses, John. God. All right. Let's get back on track here, John. So I noticed today. So today was the MLB draft, and 3 of the first 4 picks that the Orioles took were center fielders. I think they're trying to tell us something, because I was talking to friend of the show Jim Misfording earlier, and then to you guys, and there is no one in the high end of the farm system ready to come up and can play position player wise. That would be anything impactful prospect wise. I'm not talking about some 4A player or something like that. Enrique Bradfield, I mean, I guess he's the next guy, and he could probably play now defensively. But from what I have seen, not a Major League Baseball player up to this point, to be able to hit at this level impactfully. Um, we'll see. The jury's still out. But so you bring in these other, they just start taking outfielders in hopes that eventually something will hit, Mike. But to me, I really thought they were going to take a college guy, because I thought they could feel the pressure that they need to have people ready sooner rather than later. And they took high schooler with the first pick.
Yeah, so what does that signify to you? That's the question because I agree, Jason. I was thinking more ready to go guys, someone who might kind of rise quickly through the farm system and be here in a couple years. I mean, I'm guessing 4 or 5 years at least for some of these guys they drafted that are right out of high school, and I think that's probably ambitious based on what we're seeing from some of these other guys who've come up and haven't been completely major league ready. So I'm not sure what they're thinking exactly. And my question, actually, I know you're talking about the draft, is just like the draft is a knee jerk reaction to what's going on the team right now. It seems like a little bit to me. Like, obviously, there's a little bit of deficiency where it comes to outfield and especially outfield defense. And to me, they're, like you said, throwing a bunch of darts and hoping one of them finds the bullseye. And the guy they drafted first, I guess he's a very toolsy high school guy. Booth is his name. And I guess his dad was drafted, but played a different professional sport. I thought I saw in the write up.
He played
Was it
football,
football?
at Southern Miss.
Yeah, so he's got athletic genes in his family, and he decided to go the baseball route. But they said he has some issues as far as instinctual base running and things like that. So it's like he's still a project guy. He's fast, but like you and I both know, fast doesn't necessarily translate to being a good base runner. So it's not like they took this guy who was polished and ready to go. Obviously, high school guys are going to have some things to work on. I just wish that it felt like they had a more comprehensive like outlook on what's going on right now, because it feels like a very knee jerk reaction to what's happening on the field.
I mean, so for me, I don't think that those guys over there in the warehouse think like that at all. I think, to be honest, that and I've from what all the other baseball guys are saying, this was the best outfielder in the draft. So if they were planning on taking an outfielder, that was the best guy to take according to all the experts. And maybe he was number one on their board as well. I don't see it with the numbers. I could be wrong. The kid out of Georgia Tech, Burris, to me, had like crazy hit tools. His like average exit, he's 5'9". His average exit velocity is something crazy like 106 miles per hour. And then in game, he's hit like upwards of 117 miles per hour. Now, granted, you got to take into account they're using aluminum bats a little bit, but holy crap. Like, so to me, I actually said when Jimmy asked me who I thought, I said it would be between Booth and it would be between Burris, and they ended up going with Booth. Now that's just based on looking at what everybody was saying as far as toolsy guys. Um, I do think they need outfield depth, and I think they realize they needed outfield depth. But maybe they have plans. Like there's a Jake McCarthy out there in Colorado. There's Bretton Doyle in Colorado. Can't hit his way out of a paper bag, but these are good, decent baseball players, and they won't cost a whole lot to get. If that is a target they're looking to upgrade, maybe they're thinking bigger. I don't know. I haven't even looked at what the free agent market is for next year because I would love them to try to make some sort of run this year. For me, John, what I said earlier, and I still stand behind, is I am 100% satisfied with the moves that they made in the offseason. Helsley, awesome. Unfortunately, the injury bug, it sucks. It really does. But you can't fault him for how he's played up to that point. Taylor Ward.
And no UCL tear, Jay. Did you see the report
No,
today?
I didn't. But like, what does that mean? So does it mean he's resting
Inflammation.
until September? Like,
I don't know. I don't know, but it's not a tear. That's the only thing I saw.
well, yeah. I mean, that's promising for sure. And hopefully he can work through that and get back up here because he has been something else. And I am like he's actually made me look very smart because he was one of my top targets. Taylor Ward, the power numbers are down, but from all indication, he's been a leader in the clubhouse. He gets on base. Pete Alonso couldn't have asked for more. Mike, I think you said it. Reminds you of the Palmero signing years ago, and that's exactly what he's doing. The average maybe isn't that high, but his power numbers are, and he's going to hit 40 plus home runs probably. Like, and then Blaze. Like all of these moves offensively are great, but what's holding this team back again are those guys that they counted on from previous years in the draft. Kerstad's in the minor leagues. Cowser struggling. Mayo struggling. Sam Basayo is everything is advertised, John, as you said. Adley doing Adley things again. He was one of my bounce back guys this year. So, but it's still Gunnar. I mean, Gunnar right now is now he had a good night tonight. He had a home run finally to get. So hopefully that's a sign of things to come. But John, I mean, he put up MVP type numbers, and he hasn't got anywhere near there. So in my eyes right now, these guys that they were depending on and they decided not to trade off, that's what's holding everything, a big part of what's holding everything back.
Yeah, I agree. And Dan says another left-handed outfielder in the first round of the draft, and that's 5 out of the last 7 years we've taken a left-handed hitting outfielder in the draft. So there's obviously the Orioles don't want to. Elias never would take a pitcher in the first round, and I don't think we needed to take a pitcher. But I agree with you, Jason, though, in saying that a college outfielder with a shorter lifespan in the minor leagues is a much better option than a high school kid who has a lower success rate overall than a lot of these college kids because we got Cowser out of Sam Houston State, fifth overall. He was up in the big leagues in 2 years. You know, so I very much agree that I would have preferred to go with the guy from the fellow from Georgia Tech because that would be a shorter span in the minor leagues. However, the number one outfielder on all the boards was Booth. So, could he develop? Could he? Absolutely. But we're still 4 or 5 years down the line. And like I told you guys in the text earlier, we're going to have to find somebody to fill this gap for 3 or 4 years because our center fielder is clearly not on the roster. And I said this when we were at spring training game. Ward is not paid to play left field. It's the only place he can play defense, but he's not paid to play out there because he's not a good defender. He's paid to hit doubles, hit home runs, and get on base. And that's what he's been doing. But if you look at the outfield defense is just atrocious. Just like last night, was it Cal? Who's in right field? Was it Beavers in right field last night? Came in on the ball and then had to turn around and run back on the ball. And the ball hits off the fence, and it should have been a fairly easy catch. And this seems to be a repetitive thing with the Orioles outfield. But no, I agree though with the Basayo thing. I think Basayo is about one of the only guys who we've developed and is as advertised.
Yeah, I mean it's tough right now. I mean, and there's a lot of development left in that area. But see, if you think about it though, Basayo wasn't in the major league draft. He was a international signing. It's these guys that are in the draft. Like if you want to even go back to Kjerstad, Cowser, these guys weren't top 3 or 4 in anyone's boards. Adley was either 1 or 2, Witt or Adley on every one. Jackson Holiday wasn't number 1 on everybody's boards until towards the end he started getting a lot of momentum. But anyone like Drew Jones went after him. He hasn't even sniffed the majors yet. So there's a lot of things when it comes to the draft. I didn't want to make this into this big draft special just because it's more using it as a point that you can see that they believe that they are deficient in outfielders. And I 100% agree. I think it's going to have to come from outside the organization. So my question is I don't want to, again, jump ahead to next year, but Taylor Ward's going to be a free agent. I mean, do you have somebody better you're going to sign to play left field, or are you gonna, unless you trade for someone else, I maybe want to take care of that situation. Trevor Rogers starting to get back to Trevor Rogers of last year. And even if he doesn't, you know what? Still an above average major league starter who came out and said he wants to be here. His number has gone down now. So I would try to get that, maybe look into that a little more. The whole Gunnar thing, I don't know what everybody's thinking, $400 million. No, sir, not here. So I don't know. A lot of things, if you want to start making moves, they can go ahead and do it. Mike, I don't think that this team should start selling guys off. I really don't. Trade deadline's coming up here in a couple weeks, and I'm not real interested in another get a bunch of minor leaguers back. I think if you're going to deal, maybe try to add. And then look towards not just this year, but also next year, with your additions.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think so the question, I guess, is how many games under 500 are you? And I guess more importantly, how close are you in the wild card? Because the American League, we've talked about it, I don't know, we haven't had a ton of shows, but all year long, the American League has been down. And you can see that it might take only a handful of games over 500 to make that last wild card spot this year. And so what that does is just keeps more and more teams in the race, and trade possibilities diminish because all these teams think they have a legitimate shot to maybe make the playoffs. So regardless of whether or not you want to trade those guys, other teams are probably looking to add. You're looking to add. You have less sellers on the market. It changes what you can do. I think you would have to look closely at Ward and Rogers, and if you're not going to resign them, I think you have to at least consider trading them, because I like both of those guys, Jason. I like what Taylor Ward's brought to the lineup. I didn't know he was going to be such an on-base guy. I thought he's going on base at a higher clip than I anticipated. And you were ringing the bell for him, when we traded for him. I've been impressed with him. And then I thought Trevor Rogers would bounce back after he started pretty poorly with the season. And his ERA is going to take a while to get back to kind of where it should be. But it's getting back closer to normal. I think they're great, classic, sign them if you can. But their agents have got to be pushing them to wait till free agency, especially if they're starting to pitch better and better. So I don't know what you do. I think it's probably going to be a little bit of add and subtract, knowing what Mike Elias does. I don't know if that's what we should do, but that's what I would anticipate happening.
I mean, he's come out and said he wants to be a buyer. I mean, what are you going to say? Let's throw in the towel and then they'll hire a new GM in the offseason. Like, I mean, there's definitely, he's got to be feeling the heat. It's just, but the only thing I will say that I really have an issue with, and I have been one of the biggest defenders of Mike Elias and the way that he's gone about doing it, but now it's like it's hard to stay that path at this point when you held on to all these prospects and now these prospects just are not at all where they should be. Kauser, Kerstead, Mayo, these guys. Now, again, Mayo's up in the air, but I'm starting to think, Mike, that Mayo is probably what he is right now. Like it's not a he's going to hit some home runs that go off the second deck, and then he's going to look silly in his next at bat. So I don't know. It's for me, Elias can't get a pass anymore. I don't ever want to talk about people losing their jobs. It's terrible. That's why I was upset about the whole Harbaugh thing. I mean, for someone that's had to go through that in the past, I know you're a teacher, Mike. Usually, if you do something naughty, you don't get fired. So it's a terrible feeling. So no one deserves to go through that. But something has to happen where they start making. I said this last year. You have to build a major league roster, and I thought the additions that he has made up to this point has done that. And I still think that it's a decent major league roster. But then I look at the lineup in certain ways. Mayo should never be batting in the top 4. It's Taylor Warber's batting 3, not my prototypical 3 hitter. Gunnar would be, but they're trying to move him around so he can get something going.
Spark
right?
a fire.
Yeah. So I don't know. I thought that there was some hope that Holiday would be batting at the top of the lineup. I'm still willing to give him a little bit of a mulligan, getting a slow start to the season. I think this lineup ideally, and then we can move on to a different topic, John, if you want. But ideally, they are missing Westberg terribly, or somebody like that. It's so funny, but if you pencil him in, it moves everybody down. And he's a contact guy, he's a power guy, he's just a baseball player, and he's an all-star. So to me, it's a huge loss. Hopefully he can get back and get on track. But I don't know. I'm not ready to throw in the towel just yet, but I am losing patience with the direction of the organization. And that's the first time I think I've actually said that. That, okay, it's time now to start thinking we have to work on this major league roster because now you don't have anything in the minors. Pitching maybe, but no everyday players. So, John, what else did you have for us there?
So I was just pulling up here the outfielders who are available as free agents. So center field wise, you have Trent Grisham. They're saying he's probably going to have a $25 to $30 million market cap. You got Jazz Chisholm, Dalton Varsho, Luis Robert Jr. has a club option with the Mets, and then Cedric Mullins.
Oh, so God.
Those are your only center field options.
And Jason Weisbecker, he played center field too.
I'm 43 years old. Like, what the hell?
You're better than them, I think, Jason. Some of them.
Oh, that's so terrible.
No, that's horrible, John. Can you keep going? Is there more?
No, please no.
Luis
here's the only saving grace, John, is that we're probably not going to have a season. So that's the only saving grace.
Yeah, and then you go down the list here. You got Lane Thomas from the Royals, and a couple guys with club options, and then you got a bunch of corner outfielders. Springer, Ian Happ from the Cubs, Saya Suzuki from the Cubs, Randy Arozarena, Jorge Soler, Lourdes Gurriel.
Wait, did you say Randy Arozarena is a free agent?
Yes, unrestricted.
That's
a guy I would trade Ward for 100%.
But what do you have to trade him for? They're not going to trade him in Seattle because Seattle's going to win.
No, I'm saying
pennant.
you let Ward walk and you sign a Rosarena.
I mean, why can't you get both of them? You know what I mean? It's like
well, they're corner out. They're both left fielders,
right? But I mean,
who can catch the ball? That's all I care about. Just catch the ball.
Neither of them. I think Randy.
That's what I'm saying. The ball bounced out of Taylor Ward's glove the other day on the orange. I know he made a great catch before that, but like, I just the defense. Jason, you talk about looking at that lineup, and it does look like a major league batting lineup. But when you put them out in the field, it is atrocious. There's no. First of all, there's no solid defensive outfielder in a good spot where they should be playing. Second, Taveras might be. I don't know. You can maybe throw Taveras. He plays a good center field. I think he plays a pretty good center field. Additionally, you don't have a veteran player that gets on base. I mean, Taylor Ward is the only guy, really, that gets on base because we are depending on these guys that we thought were what they were glimpses of, but they aren't. That's not who they are consistently. So we haven't seen anybody. It's like we're putting all our eggs in a Jackson Holiday basket or a Colton Cowser basket, where those guys haven't done it regularly enough. And I told you, I bang the Luis Arias drum so often, but that guy's batting .326. He's playing a decent second base in San Francisco, and he's an all-star. And I think his OPS is over 800, so it's not like he's not hitting doubles. And he's got, I think, 4 bombs, which, I mean, he's not a home run hitter. But you need some type of diversity in your lineup.
He might be available too, Mike. I guarantee he's available if they wanted to. I think he only signed a 1-year deal, but
he did.
If they wanted to go get him at the deadline, I don't think he'll be as expensive as everybody thinks. The Giants, I don't think are in it. They'll probably be sellers. Let me ask you guys something. So I want you to listen to these numbers. In the 2026 minor league numbers right now. 168 at bats with a 256 average. Now this is AAA. 3 home runs, 19 RBIs, and 24 stolen bases with a 696 OPS and an elite glove. What does that do for you as a center fielder? Because that's Enrique Bradfield's numbers. His entire minor league career, he's a 262 hitter with 10 home runs and 159 stolen bases. Jiminy Christmas. But with all that being said, are those major league numbers that can translate? I mean, I would love to say that's Kenny Lofton. I don't see Kenny Lofton. I see Billy Hamilton. And that's not a good thing, just for everybody out there. So
I mean, that's not much different than Mullins.
Or Taveras for that reason.
Well, it's a lot different than them maybe not Taveras, but it's a lot different than Mullins. Mullins had 30 home run years. Like there's no power. And this guy's like, I think he's 100 and like he weighs as much as your Shih Tzu or whatever the hell that thing is. Shih Tzu, a poo shit. Like
Yoshi or whatever his name was.
It, like that, and that's wet. Like he is a tiny fella. So I don't know. I am worried for the outfield, but I mean, you have enough around you where your outfielders can just catch the ball and get on base. Maybe that's the way of going about doing things. I mean, Taylor Ward can hit the ball out of the ballpark. Who says he doesn't hit 20 home runs the second half of the season, right? And now all of a sudden he's got closer to 30 home runs. Maybe Beavers gets a little bit more acclimated. He just came off an injury. I don't know. There's some things out there, but you have to be able to catch the ball. Help your pitchers out, but I am more optimistic than I was a couple weeks ago, but still not happy, if that makes sense.
What do you do with Tyler O'Neill, Jason?
Keep putting him out there, man. I mean, you've seen what he's done when he gets hot. I would try to get him in there as much as possible against lefties. He hits the crap out of lefties, but you're not gonna put you don't have to play Beavers against lefties. You have that advantage, but you can tell that O'Neill gets better when he gets more frequent at bats. He's also a 2-time Gold Glove Award winner. He hasn't really showed it a lot, but he's won 2 Gold Gloves. And then I just wonder.
He is a
Yeah.
cannon out
But
there.
it's more than that. Like,
Yeah.
too.
We gotta catch it before you throw it.
Well, let me also tell you that cannon that he threw in that Dodger series was also the reason it skipped away from Basayo and then the winning run scored. Right. I saw that too, thrown off his back foot. But it's for me, I would play him the best you can, until but then all these guys are dependent upon a bats, right? Tavares has cooled off a little bit, but he's your best center fielder unless Kowser could actually hit consistently. So I don't know. I,
So,
I
J-
think you.
so
Here's maybe an unpopular decision. I would send Kowser down to the minors. I would, but and then see if
Bring
they can.
Bradfield up. See what he can do. Why
Yeah.
not? He's no better. He's no worse than Calzer.
Well, Heston Kjerstad's actually one of the hotter hitters on the
Bring him
AAA
up
team.
then.
I would bring him up.
Bring somebody up.
but Kowser can hit the ball out of the ballpark. As soon as Jason starts talking crap about him, he's going to go on a hot streak.
Is it crap or are they facts? Because if you ask anyone that would listen to me, was the biggest Colton Cowser fan, but I just haven't seen it in 2 years. Haven't seen it. So, John, do you have anything else for us besides the Orioles? What else did you write down in that little handy dandy notebook you got there?
Let's see. I can't read my handwriting.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, no, I got it. I got it.
Give
So,
Yoshi a treat. Oh,
yeah, no. So the only thing I have baseball wise was the Orioles are lucky that you got to have one player from each team because there's not really anybody on that roster who stands out. I was surprised that Young didn't get selected to be on the team on the All Star team instead of Adley, but I don't know what because he's not pit. Yeah, he would be okay because he's not pitching tomorrow. He didn't pitch today, so he would have been okay to pitch. And that kind of surprised me. But what do you guys think? Should Pete have gotten in there?
Mike, did you want to go first?
Yeah, no, I'm not upset about anything. I think Adley is relative to the catchers in the American League, he's one of the top catchers in the American League, and I think a lot of that. I think his all around game has been so much better this year. He's so much better at throwing out base runners. He's so much better at blocking pitches, and he's a consistent hitter in the line. I know he's only batting I think 253 or something like that at the moment, but you know what? If he's doing all those other things as a catcher, you'll take it, and he's hitting for some power, and he's been a leader. So like, if he's the one representative, I'm down with that. PD, yeah, I like PD, and I think he could any year, probably with the amount of power he has, get into the All Star game. But I'm not upset about it because he's not lighting the world on fire, and he wasn't especially early on. He's kind of picked his game up of late. I don't think it's a snub, though. Does that make sense?
He could have very easily made it, but there's some first basemen that are definitely deserving. That I think because of the position kind of phased him out, and he kind of got to a little slow start. I think he ends the year as one of the top first basemen in the American League, though. Vladdy's he got bumped in, but then he's hurt, so I don't know. I think Kurtz is starting over him. To address your John, where you said Brendan Young, unfortunately, I actually had said that I thought he would get some consideration, but there's the Tigers have a guy, Troy Melton, who is pitched really well. I think they would pop him in before Brandon Young. As far as, I mean, I like it. I'm stuck on Blaze. Like, he could have very easily. He's just not that. Like, he doesn't give off that whole all-star vibe. Like, if the Orioles had, if they were in second or third place or second or first place right now and we're above 500, I think could maybe have multiple guys. You'd Pete, Adley, and then maybe Brandon Young, maybe Helsley if he didn't get hurt. Like, but no, I don't really have. I think Adley was the right choice. I do. It's an easy choice. But no, Pete, not a snub, but I would love to see him in there.
Well, let's switch gears here a little bit to the Ravens. We have training camp starting next week, and or not this week, but the week after this week. So, I think the 22nd or something like that. I think training camp starts. So the big question that I had written down was, do we bring in another veteran wide receiver? Do we bring Hopkins back? Should we bring Hopkins back? Or will we bring Hopkins back? Or a kind of a combination of both things? Mike, what do you think?
I don't think it's super important to bring a high octane veteran wide receiver back. I wouldn't mind seeing some competition for some of these younger guys in training camp. But I would really want to see what Tez Walker has this year. I want to see what Surratt and Lane have. And I just don't want to clog too many pathways. I think, though, to bring in one veteran receiver that has a decent track record certainly can't hurt a team that is trying to win a Super Bowl. You can never have too many good players. So if you wanted to bring in a Stephon Diggs or, fill in the blank to compete or to maybe be a potential option because you think they still have some gas left in the tank, Hopkins, Tyreek Hill, Diggs, whatever it is, whoever you want to add, I'm okay with it, but I don't think it's 100% necessary.
Oh man, there isn't anyone that stands out to me that would be the type of guy that they would want to bring in. Like new coaching staff, John. So the whole Hopkins thing, I think that was more of the old coaching staff. I'm not sure if Lamar was in love at that point or not. I'm thinking Tyreek Hill's the first one that comes to mind, but he could be missing the entire season. And I know they don't want to sign someone that's just going to be injured and have to deal with all that nonsense. So I would say no. I'm going to say no. They're going to stay pat with what they have. Two young wide receivers. They have Bateman. They have Flowers, who I am extremely high on this year. Mike, I saw you traded for him in our Dynasty League. That was fantastic. Well done. But yeah, I'm very high on him this year. And I'm just trying to think what else there. I mean, I just don't see it, John. I don't think that they need that.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to bring another wide receiver in unless it's, you bring in some of these guys to play in the preseason games just to make sure you have enough players on the roster, something like that, or if somebody gets hurt or whatever. But I don't think that we're going to, I don't think we're bringing a center in. I don't think we're bringing another wide receiver in. I think everything is pretty well set the way, that they want the roster set. When you listen to Locked On Ravens and things, they all are saying the same thing, that basically the roster's set and it's going to be what it is, and we'll go from there. And I don't, there was some, I saw some, Baltimore, we've said this before. Baltimore sports fans are some of the, I don't want to say worst, but biggest doomsdayers on the face of the planet. We let Ricard go and Likely go and all this stuff. And I don't think we're going to miss them. I really don't. I think that with the new coaching staff and the new way of doing things, I think we're not going to be in that, in that heavy set as often because we have the wide receivers.
I'm always heavy set, John. It's just what I eat. So I'm just saying.
Oh, outstanding.
So I think we're pretty well set. I think they'll figure the center thing out. And I think that, what's his face from Penn State is going to end up being the next Marshall Yanda. And we're going to secure that offensive line, and it's going to be a lot better. And if we can keep Lamar upright and keep him, injury free, that will really make everybody's life easy.
Yeah, I think that, and now I don't know Doyle's idea what he wants to do. However, I'm wondering if they try to get the ball out of Lamar's hand quicker. Maybe that changes some things. I don't know. But that always helps your offensive line as well. One side has to help the other, right? The one thing I could see is the Jadeveon Clowney thing still out there. Potentially, good against the run, get that. Also gets to the quarterback. I wouldn't be surprised if they bring in another. You have a defensive head coach, so you always could add somebody on the defense. And then injuries change everything.
I think that's a good point, Jason, because I think at this point, they save that money and they wait to see where the injuries could happen. And then they put their eggs in that basket rather than putting their eggs in a basket beforehand and then, oh crap, I picked the wrong position. Now we have a deficit in the other position. And I think that's where you're making a lot of sense. One thing I think they could possibly, I'm not as excited as you, John. I think the interior offensive line still gives me a little bit of pause, especially them relying on it's John Simpson. Is it Simpson? Is that his name again? I'm not still 100% sold. You know, he had a good year a couple years ago, but like overall, I don't know. He's very average, I'd say, as a lineman. So I'm not 100% sold on that. And then I wouldn't mind seeing a veteran tight end, just another veteran tight end on the roster. I think would just make me feel a little bit better about the depth of the tight end room.
Yeah, but hey, man, his name isn't Falele, so I'll take anybody at that guard spot other than Falele.
Yes,
Well,
upgrade.
so I'm actually Googling something real quick because I just want to double check something. Like, I am all about. Hold on. No, the Ravens didn't. Okay. So they have a brand new O line coach, right? That they got for the Falcons. One of the best guys in the whole league. Like, everyone loves this guy. He signed off on John Simpson, and he was already a Raven. So to me, if he's a part of this, I just wanted to make sure they didn't sign Simpson before they brought in the O line coach. Nope, he was a part of this. So the fact that he was able to handpick these guys too, I actually stand behind it a little bit, because when they signed him to that contract, it was like a $10 million contract, whatever. I was like, oh no, why this guy again? But like, he's not he's not only like, he's about an average guy, and I'll take it, because you know what? We have below average guys, and
Did.
maybe the coaching will help get us to over into the above average area. So I'm fine. Like, if that's who the coaches want, I'm thinking secondary wise, I think I'm okay. I think I'm fine. I'm curious to see what they're gonna do. Always Ravens, like, same mold. They love their safeties. Maybe they bring another one of them. You can't have enough, apparently. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I just want healthy players, no more injuries. And here's something that I will say, and this is gonna like hurt me to say this because I'm a big John Harbaugh guy, but a lot of injuries in the John Harbaugh era going through training camp up. We'll see if any of that follows through. And I'm not just blaming the coaching staff, but there's a lot of rumors in the past of how hard some of these camps are. So we'll see how it is, and if that's the same type of mold, and if these guys get out healthy. I do have a question for you guys, not just Ravens related. I want to know, and John, I'll start with you. Does John Harbaugh and the Giants? Okay, let's put it this way. Let's see. Couple questions. First one: who makes it to their conference championship game first? John Harbaugh and the Giants, or the Ravens and Lamar Jackson?
Ravens and Lamar Jackson, 100%, without a doubt
Mike,
in my mind.
how about you, Mike?
You said conference championship.
Their conference
So
championships.
I look at the Eagles and I don't know. I like they got to get out of their division. They got the Cowboys and Eagles every year. Like that's a tough ask. And the Commanders with Jaden Daniels is no pushover either. So like just based on our divisions, I would say the Ravens have a better opportunity with Lamar Jackson than the Giants do.
You know, I think I'm going to agree with you guys, but here's the next question: who wins the Super Bowl first? Does John Harbaugh win his second, or does Lamar win his first? What happens first, John?
Lamar wins his first. I think that the Giants are a good team with some good young talent on it, but I don't think they have the quarterback yet, or the quarterback there is not good enough or developed enough to take a team to the Super Bowl.
I'm not talking about this year. I'm talking
No,
about what happens first.
no, you're probably. I mean, for the Giants, you're 4 or 5 years down the line. For the Ravens, you have a 3 year. In my opinion, the Ravens have a 3 year window. If they don't make it to the Super Bowl in the next 3 years, they're gonna they're going to have to find it. They're going to draft another quarterback, sit him behind Lamar, because at that point Lamar will be 33, and then we'll see what happens from there. We're on a 3-year window. The Giants are probably in a 5 to 7 year window.
I don't know. NFL.
Quick change. Yeah, I don't know that either of them get a Super Bowl. I'm not sure. Like I just think the AFC is mighty tough because every year you've got the likes of Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes and Joe Burrow, and you're running the rat race to try to get there and be healthy, and all of the things have to come together for your team to win a Super Bowl. He could Lamar Jackson could very well be the next Dan Marino and have an awesome career and be a Hall of Famer and just never get the Super Bowl. I don't want that to happen. I clearly am rooting for it to not happen, and I hope that it all comes together for Lamar. But if you're just following the pattern of what's going on with Lamar, like, it wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't ever get one here. And so then if you're looking at John Harbaugh in New York and you're asking me when that's going to happen, well, John made some good points. They're not there yet. They have Scadaboo. They've got a decent young quarterback in Jackson Dart who looked pretty good, when healthy. And they've got Malik Neighbors who's banged up right now and just coming off injury. So, I think they've got maybe the starting phase of a triplets going on there, but I'm not sure that they're ready, and especially within the realm of the current NFC. Especially look at what the Rams did. Look at the Bears. You got the Lions. You've got the Packers are consistent contenders. You've got the Eagles and the Cowboys in your own division. The Commanders could come up again. There's just too much in the NFC. So I don't think, even with the current players, unless they take great strides forward, I don't know that's going to happen. Are they going to give John Harbaugh enough rope to win another one? We'll see. It might be within 10 years, then maybe they win one. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I have a lot of faith in the new regime. I really want to see what happens here. So I really want to say the Ravens. And I just, as much as I want to, I could say John Harbaugh, I just am afraid with what Mike just said. Man, the NFC is stacked. Did you say the Seahawks in there? Because I didn't hear.
I think I missed the Seahawks. Yeah.
Hi, they just won the Super Bowl.
They were good at football. Yep.
So
I don't believe in Sam Darnold still.
Hey, it's a Trent Dilfer move, man. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh goodness, yeah. And I think Trent Dilfer was actually a higher draft pick than Sam Darnold. Wasn't Dilfer the number 1 overall pick?
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, so I don't know. I'll go with Lamar. I will. Although my whole point of this exercise was to say that I would not sleep on the Giants, and I do think that my prediction is they make the playoffs this year. That whole new coach changing the atmosphere. I mean, if Brian Dable could do it the first year he was in New York, then John Harbaugh damn near could, right? What else you and Yoshi got over there, John?
I don't really got anything else.
Are you serious? Do you not know what's happening in the world right now?
You want to talk politics, Mike, or the World Cup? What are we talking?
The World Cup.
Come on, dude. It's only the most popular sport in the entire world, and you do not even have any comment about it whatsoever?
I don't.
I think John's scared to talk about soccer.
John, if you've watched any of the matches, it has been an amazing World Cup.
I watched
amazing.
The West ones. I don't know.
Oh, God, dude.
Most of those are on during the day when I'm at work.
If you have time to watch an Oriole game, you have time to watch a World Cup match.
It's pretty exciting, especially the U.S. games.
Soccer's a little slow for me.
Okay, I mean, I can see that.
You're a little slow for me, but we have you on the podcast.
That's only because we couldn't find anyone else. It sucks.
No, I'm just kidding, John.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding, John. We love you.
It's like I never played, and I understand the game, but it doesn't excite me unless it's like the U.S. And we make so many that our goalie made so many freaking boneheaded plays in that game. If he just attacks the ball, if he goes and gets the ball, and he kicks the ball and doesn't hit his foot on the ground, that's a completely different game against Belgium.
I do think that it was like a deer caught in headlights, Mike. in that game. It was like, we're playing a real, like, legitimate team. I'm not discounting any of the other teams they played, but I mean, Belgium's a world-class team, right? And this was actually a down year for them. And they took Spain to the limit, right? I mean, come on. Like, yeah, I think the U.S. was caught. They finally went up against a team that was tough, and they had to almost play the perfect game, and they did not. So that's what happened.
See, I don't agree necessarily with that. I think so. You say they had to play the perfect game. I just think they had to play a good game, and this was the worst game they've played all tournament long. Even if they played a reasonably good game, I still think it's a 1-goal game either direction. And even regardless of the mistakes, John, you pointed out the goalkeeper error, and obviously, if you watch the crosses, we have not defended crosses well the entire tournament. And one thing the U.S. is deficient in is having defensive center backs who can get up in the air and clear the ball. Because Tim Ream does a really good job of possessing the ball and pushing the ball forward into spaces. But when it comes to actually doing your main job as a center back, which is to clear the ball and to get into a tight defensive position with people in the box, he is not good at that at all. And so if you're looking at the next World Cup, the U.S. needs to find a center back that's like a physical 6'5", like just specimen. We haven't had a real good center back since Onyewu, like who was ridiculously good. And I thought Chris Richard played well, but he's not really a physical guy. They need to have a better center back. But what I was saying was, regardless, 2-1 match, until we make that goalie mistake. So we were right in that match anyway. I think the U.S. is at a point where if they play well, they can compete with most anybody. Maybe France, Argentina, they're maybe on a different level. You might throw England or Spain in there potentially. But I think we're at least a top 8 team in the world, which is kind of where we ended up, somewhere in the top 8 to 12 range. And I think I'm encouraged by what I saw because in the games they played well, it was quick, fast-paced offense, good touches, quick possession, confidence on the ball, which we did not see at all versus Belgium. You didn't see any of that, except maybe a little bit in the beginning of the second half.
Well, we also didn't see, if you watch the first games, we got out and got the ball out and got some long runs, sending the ball down the field and letting our guys go run and chase it. In the Belgium game, I don't even think we got a shot on net outside of that free kick. I don't even think we got a ball into the box under control, except that one free kick goal. So
well, that goes. Yeah, it goes back to what Mike was saying though about like the U.S. was having trouble clearing the ball. Like Belgium had the ball on the U.S. side of the field the majority of the first half, and I mean it wasn't pleasant. You could see it; it wasn't good. And then I mean, how many shots on goal did the U.S. have? Maybe 2 the whole game. I mean, it wasn't much.
No.
And it just was, but you could see it. You could see the tide turning after half. Like they made the adjustments. It was changed. They brought in a couple guys. And then Pulisic got dinged up. And that slowed him down, I think, in the midfield area as far as that goes. And then that one transition where they had the botch with the goalie, which, shit happens, but it did. And then once that happened, though, it was all like, oh crap! You were chasing 1, now you're chasing 2, and I mean that's tough. I mean, might as well be down
too much.
6-0 in a baseball game in the 8th inning, right? I mean,
2 shots on goal. 2 shots.
Well, you don't have the individual athletes to make up for that. Like you saw, Argentina went down 2 goals, but you don't have Lionel Messi on your team. Like there are only certain players of that class and caliber in the world that can get that lead and erase it quickly. You know what I mean? There's only a few players in the world like that. And I love Pulisic. He's not that guy. But Balogun's not that guy either. He's a guy who can make great runs and can finish, but like he's not going to create for himself all the time like those other guys either. So they don't have a Dembele. They don't have an Mbappe. They don't have any of those caliber. They don't have a Haaland. They don't have any of those guys.
Well, and I mean, the argument really comes up, will they ever have a world-class player of that talent? And probably not. Like, I mean,
our best athletes play football.
Right. And that's always going to be the argument. That's always going to be the thing. I mean, I think it was a good showing for them. I think it was a great World Cup. I would have loved to see him keep going. I would not have been pretty against Spain, but arguably the two best. Yeah, I mean, I think Argentina's right up there, but arguably the two best teams are like the World Cup finals, essentially the semifinal game. France and Spain on the one side, and then England either against Switzerland, Argentina. I think they're tied at one right now.
Yeah, they're in extra time. Yep.
Oh, I would love to see Messi one more time in the finals. But whatever the case may be, I mean, those are some of the best teams I think that everyone gave a shot of winning. At least those four, right? If Argentina gets through, that's so interesting that those are the final four teams, and I think those were the top four that everyone had. Maybe Portugal.
But John won't watch it, Jason. John won't watch the best four teams in the world play soccer, which is going to be awesome, John. Just do me a favor. Pick one of those three matches. Four, because they have a third place match. Pick one of those matches and watch it if it's the final four. And then come back next time we talk and tell me what you saw. And tell me soccer's boring.
He either got to spend time with Princess Peach and the Sheepu, or he's got to watch soccer. And I really think where John's at in his life right now is he's choosing the poo-poo over the soccer. I'm sorry, Mike. It's just not going to happen.
Nah, I'd rather watch a soccer game than clean up dog poo and everything else. But I thought that was cool though to see Antonio Freeman from the Packers and his kid on the U.S. team. He was at all the games, and the U.S. had a good turnout at every one of their games.
What you're doing right now is everything that is wrong with America ever trying to compete in the World Cup. Hey, that football player is out there in the stands, and his son happens to kick that little ball around and play soccer. What the hell is the matter with you?
Did you see David Beckham today in the crowd? That was great.
Oh, God.
So Mike, do you want to enlighten us with one of your jokes before we close? Oh, by the way, follow us on anywhere you get your podcasts, Facebook, Instagram. Email us at dadbodscrabcakesandsports@gmail.com. We'd love to get some insight and comment on our Facebook page. And we're working on some things that may help increase our reach. So we'd love to get some comments and some feedback. But Mike, why don't you close us with a good joke? I sent you guys the best joke of the week, and you guys blew it up and didn't even laugh.
That's because you were trying to make a messy pun. That you have to do it with sloppy, and you didn't even use it. So, no. But did you hear about the soccer player? No, I don't have a joke, John. I can't do jokes on the spot.
On the spot, John.
Come on, man.
My dad does. My dad did.
Yeah, I know. I guess I'm just not there yet.
Oh my gosh, she's got to get a little older and a little wiser.
Well, did you hear why the Scarecrow got an award?
Oh boy. Why?
Because he was outstanding in his field.
Oh, I knew that. I've actually heard that a million times, but I still just wasn't paying attention.
You walked right into it. The funny thing actually that happened this week is my family had the dumbest 3 minutes in the history of the world because I worked soccer camp this week. It was the Frisky week at Hartford soccer camp. I do coaching and the kids go to camp. And we're getting ready for soccer camp, and they have camp T-shirts. They say, Hartford soccer camp on it. And Josh has got this camp shirt on that looks like a dress. And I'm like, what is going on? Why are you wearing a dress? And he's like, I don't know. And I look over at Cecilia, and hers looks like suction to her. Like it was like she was swimming in it. And I was like, he's like, oh, I think we switched shirts. So they do that, right? As this is happening, they switch shirts. They're doing it in the living room. We're all trying to get ready and get out of the house. Cecilia walks over, and she had been cooking one of those breakfast sandwiches. Jason, you would think like, oh my God, we got to get these out of our house because there's so many carbs and there's so many preservatives, whatever. But she makes one in a microwave. Yeah, processed food. But she left the microwave door open, and she walks right into the side. And as I'm seeing this, right, I'm trying to stop her because I see it happening. I take the back of my left foot into the back of my right foot, and I tear my toenail off in half as this is happening. This all happens within like 2 minutes of each other. as we're trying to get ready for Sarcastic, all hell is breaking loose in the Frisky residence today.
Oh my
But
gosh.
it was not our finest moment. I think they'd probably take away my college degree, Cecilia's National Junior Honor Society, and I don't know, Josh's Gator Buck, whatever it is.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh, that's my dad brag. Allie is my daughter. Allie is going into 8th grade. Was elected to president of the National Junior Honor Society.
Nice.
Very nice.
So she'll be doing all
Awesome.
that.
Congrats.
Nonsense. Yep, 8th grade year coming up. I am officially old, very old.
Ditto.
The only other thing I wanted to mention was that we are getting into the fantasy season, everyone. Fantasy football coming up. Start doing your research. Mike's already making trades out there. Shocked me.
I was excited to do that. I was trying to swindle, but I don't swindle. I end up because whenever you propose trades in our league, like most of the guys are pretty solid, or they just don't communicate, and you can't really make the trades with the people who just. We have some people who just don't make trades, and we have people who always ask for too much. Right. And then we have a couple people you can always try to go back and forth with. Like I can go back and forth with you, Jason. We'll go back and forth over the course of a few days, and we might come to agreement. We might not. Right. Colin and I do the same thing. There's a few guys like that, but everybody else is either asking for like something ridiculous that's one-sided, or they just don't trade. But no, I traded for Zay Flowers. I gave up a first-round pick. I think I got a third-round pick back, and Trey Harris, who obviously has some upside, especially with Keenan Allen not being back in LA, and I guess he flashed a little bit. He might be their third wide receiver in.
You got him back in that deal?
No, he went to Colin for the Zay Flowers, but I needed a number one guy in my lineup across from Devontae Adams. So at least I have 2 to 3 solid receivers at this point. I have good running backs.
Yeah, no, I think that's actually a pretty good move. Obviously, depending on who you talk to, those 27 draft picks are supposed to be like gold. I don't have any. I gave all mine away. But I have a pretty solid lineup where it's like I usually end up playing for the championship at the end of the year, so I'm okay without picking them. But eventually that'll bite me in the butt. But yes, exciting things are happening. Fantasy football, best time of the year. And then I'll get burnt out. Then come check on me in December, and I'm ready for it all to end. And then I'll refresh, and I'm back at it again.
He's back. Just like we're back at it again. Dad Bods, Crab Cakes, and Sports.
Yeah, guys, we are going to get everything figured out on a schedule so that we can try to do this regularly again for everyone. Some things are in the works, hopefully, and we will see what we can come up with. So, John, for Mike, all that fun stuff. You guys have a great evening. Take care.
Don't forget to subscribe to Dad Bods, Crab Cakes, and Sports on Red Circle, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, or wherever you get your free podcasts. And while you're at it, leave us a review. It really helps us out. We're trying to spread the good word about Baltimore sports far and wide. Follow us on social media for more behind-the-scenes actions, memes, and bad sports takes. You can find us at Dad Bods, Crab Cakes, and Sports on Instagram, and Dad Bods, Crab Cakes, and Sports on our Facebook page. Until next time, keep rocking those dad bods, eating those crab cakes, and never miss the game.